Oh, my word. Oh, my word.
Yeah, still great.
This Rolex, originally belonging to the guest's husband, was brought at the PX in Panama in 1966. This watch survived a helicopter crash while he served with the 1st Cavalry Division. It broke during a playful moment with their son and was later repaired in Dallas. It's a Rolex GMT Master, model 1675, made in 1963. The original band is from the first quarter of 1963, and the blue and red bezel is known as a Pepsi bezel. Pointed crown guards make it more valuable.
Pointed crown guard, more money.
Okay.
Pepsi
okay.
bezel, more money.
More money.
The guest's husband got it cheaply with a deal for $150. The bracelet is quite worn out, and while sending it to Rolex for service is fine, it's not good to let them finish the case or replace the dial. When serviced, some parts like the bezel and dial were replaced. The red hand for military time is original, and the watch was designed for Pan Am pilots. At auction, this watch is worth
$8,000 to $10,000.
Okay, good.
$20,000.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word.
Yeah, still great.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Set before us is an astounding oil on canvas painting. The painting has been in the guest's family for more than 50 years.
I just had it stored up above the bookshelf at home.
This painting is one of the works by Sanford Robinson Gifford. Gifford was an American landscape artist. At the lower left of the painting is the artist's signature. Depicting nature in sublime colors, the painting captures the landscape view of northeast Italy, featuring Italian sheep, a shepherd, and a mountain. Although a bit dirty, a light cleaning can easily be done on the item. Regardless of the dirt accumulated on the piece, it's a terrific landscape art, and it's estimated to be worth
$300,000. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Wow, cool.
Very lovely piece.
Excellent. Thank you.
This stunning watch was a guest's family piece that belonged to the guest's great-grandmother on their mother's side. The appraiser noted that it was one of the finest enameled watches he'd seen in many shows. The watch featured natural pearls, rose-cut diamonds set in platinum, and guilloche enamel. The case was made by Verger Frères, founded by Ferdinand Frères, a renowned French jeweler, considered to be the jeweler to the jewelers. Inside the case was a first-quality anonymous Swiss-made mechanism. The watch was dated around 1910, while the accompanying neck chain was slightly later, likely produced in 1930. The appraiser conservatively estimated the watch's auction value to be between
Of $8,000 to $10,000 on the watch.
Wow, cool.
Very lovely piece.
Excellent. Thank you.
This Navajo weaving with a rich cultural heritage has been in the guest's family for about 40 years, passed down from an aunt in California. This intricate piece was created by Navajo Indians in Arizona and New Mexico in the early 1880s.
Made for the commercial market. They were woven specifically to sell to tourists.
Woven with Germantown yarns from Pennsylvania, the weaving boasts commercially spun and dyed threads. Despite its missing white border and a poorly repaired rip, this weaving's overall pattern remains striking. The value has declined over the years due to market saturation, yet its beauty still commands attention. At auction, this weaving with rich Native American history and craftsmanship would be worth
About $6,000 to $8,000. I think if you restored the border and the rip, you'd probably get about $8,000 to $12,000 for it.
A glance at this French advertising poster with a rich history would have you captivated. This poster was rescued from the brink of disposal by the guest. This 1905 masterpiece by the Begonnen Tire Company, later absorbed by Michelin, showcases a bold Gaelic warrior. The vibrant yellow backdrop of this poster and its striking imagery were crafted to captivate any passers-by.
Powerful image. I think you can imagine walking down the street, if you saw this, you might actually stop and stare at it and really sort of soak up the image.
Designed by a prolific artist known for his work on over 50 posters for various products, Marcelin Uzol. Despite his extensive portfolio, little is known about Uzol's personal history.
Worked for toothache pills, razor blades, liqueur, exhibitions, went on and on.
The poster's impressive size and well-preserved condition enhance its allure. Though the poster has some painted over areas and sharp creases, its rarity significantly boosts its value. At auction, this unique piece of advertising history could fetch a sum of
$1,500 and $2,000.
Okay.
on display. A true masterpiece set against a golden background, it is one of the great works of the prolific illustrator Joseph Leyendecker, who was a prominent freelance commercial artist in America. He gave this beautiful painting to our guest's father as a wedding gift, and we can see his signature at the bottom left corner of the painting. This piece depicts a beautiful bouquet of roses in the hands of a pretty little girl. Joseph Leyendecker made reproductions of this painting for the Saturday Evening Post cover, America's most influential magazine at the time.
A number of the Saturday Evening Post paintings that went on to be used as covers that have been featured at auction have the original lettering.
This stunning art piece, with enduring allure, is in immaculate condition and will have a significant auction value of
$150,000 to $200,000.
You have good taste. That's the first thing anyone who sees this painting would tell you.
It is J.G. Brown, who's the American painter John George Brown, and it's signed and dated in the lower center right.
It's an exquisite oil painting done by John George Brown. John was from the United Kingdom, so we can say this painting communicates British brilliance.
New York in the 1850s, ultimately took up painting, studied at the National Academy, also ended up becoming a teacher at the National Academy of Design.
His paintings were very well in demand during the late 1800s when this painting was made, and even now, his paintings are popular among American collectors. The painting depicts a beautiful young woman and is expertly finished. Given the credibility of George John Brown, this painting would retail at the price of
$40,000 to $60,000 for auction purposes. Wow.
Almost like a tree bark. That's what this unusual item is. If you showed a guest, they probably wouldn't be able to guess it's a vase. But that's part of the charm of this vase. It's called the Roycroft Copper Vase because it's made from copper. It was made in about 1910 in New York from hand-hammered copper. Vases like this one are particularly special because, aside from being distinct, they appeal to everyone as they're not a norm in the vase antique collection world. Because of its unusual look, and due to the strong copper make, it would retail at the auction price of
$2,500 and about $6,000.
Oh no.
The first of two masterpieces. That's what this unusual etching done by James McNeill Whistler communicates in the subtlest of ways.
An interesting point about Whistler and his etchings, and this is a wonderful example of James Abbott McNeill Whistler's work.
Whistler, an American painter, came to Venice and inspired a time of beautiful art like this one. The etching was done in 1879 as a tribute to fine artwork in Venice, Italy.
By the Fine Art Society of London to do a set of these Venice prints, and this is from the first set. So you may have seen some of those in this museum exhibit that you visited.
Because of its magnificence, the etching is called the Palaces, and it depicts the quintessential view of Venice in all its beauty. You can notice the canal, the Great Palazzo, and the attention to detail in this piece. Because of the beauty of this etching, almost any antique lover would be willing to pay.
$20,000 and $30,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
That's
a wonderful
lot more
example.
than I thought.
Guest's father brought this gun at a gun show in Ohio around 1960.
I've just always admired it, and when he passed away, this is the gun that I got out of his collection, and I just love it, but I'd love to know more about it.
The tag says it was bought for $350. This pistol is from North Africa and dates to the second half of the 18th century.
Pistols can be mounted with horn, ivory, other precious metals, stones, and that's actually what defines this pistol as North African, is the fact that they use the red coral.
Oh, okay.
Decoration includes red corals in silver inlay, defining it as North African with a bit of gold work. Arabic script on the barrel is likely the maker's name or the date. Restorations and polishing have been done, but it's in nice condition. Some pieces were replaced during restorations. Restorations don't detract much, but cleaning the silver does. Its estimated value today is
Probably about $5,000 to $7,000 in today's.
The present value of this pistol is an astonishing $8,000 to $12,000. Guest's father owned a pawn shop in the Midwest during the 1960s, where he acquired these three intriguing gold objects. Upon testing, it's revealed that the middle piece is 14-karat gold, while the other two are 18-karat or higher. Authentic wear patterns and loops on the back confirm these are pendants.
And you can see, especially on the center one, where you have some nice wear patterns and indications of handling.
Likely from the Costa Rica-Panama region, dating from 700 or 1500 AD. Of note is that such authentic pre-Columbian pieces are very rare. Valuations for these pendants are quite impressive, and at auction, they could sell for
$1,500 to $2,500.
Great, great. I guess you made a mistake not giving him the $10,000.
He should have done it.
This vintage toy car has been in the Guest's family since around 1918. The toy car was assumed to have been made by a neighbor of the Guest's grandfather.
Sometimes the stories that come down through family history and everything, sometimes there are little problems.
But is actually a manufactured piece. It was made by the Turner Company in the 1920s and is identified as a Turner Lincoln model. Despite having been repainted and missing its trunk, this toy car retains its key features like the headlights, steering wheel, and bumper. At auction, even in its current condition, this charming piece made of steel would be valued at
$3,000 to $4,000.
This exquisite painting carries a rich history from a European tour in the early 1930s.
1875 and signed lower right. Oil on panel.
Acquired by the Guest's grandparents, it stands as a testament to their journey, reflecting its creator's academic style. This painting was created by the renowned Flemish painter Pierre-Jan van der Oudere. Van der Oudere was a Belgian painter and lithographer of religious subjects, genre scenes, portraits, and landscapes. Entitled Lovers, this painting intriguingly contrasts the emotions of its subjects. Despite its romantic title, the painting's female figures' apparent disinterest adds a humorous twist, as noted by the Guest. The artwork's authenticity is reinforced by a label from the esteemed Frost and Reed Gallery in London.
Got their stamp of approval, then we know.
Although the frame likely dates back to the 1930s, the gallery's endorsement enhances its value. While genre paintings have fallen out of favour, van der Oudere's historical pieces remain highly valued. At auction, this earlier work of van der Oudere that shows defining emotions would be worth
Would be $3,000 to $5,000.
Great, thank you.
Standing before us is a remarkable Chippendale desk. Its distinguished past traces back to the mid-19th century. Accompanying it is a letter from an ancestor of our Guest's wife, William S. Harris, saying, to be kept in grandfather's desk. This vintage desk has been a family heirloom for ages. Desks like these were a testament to a family's literary in the 18th century. The interior boasts numerous carefully organized compartments and document drawers. This classic piece of furniture is in excellent condition, with all its original features preserved.
Brass is made in England for the American market. They're original. I checked on the inside, no other holes there.
Given its excellent state and impressive look, this remarkable Chippendale desk would command a significant auction value of
about $16,000, even $16,500.
A phenomenal oil painting was presented at the show. It was originally painted on canvas, but later laid onto a wood panel. It was acquired by the Guest at an estate sale for a mere $125. Crafted by Cornelis Christian Dormissen, a painter from Utrecht in the Netherlands, an inscription suggests the painting was created in 1886. The scene depicts a typical Dutch townscape or village scene with figures engraved in everyday activities. The piece belongs to a well-respected Dutch tradition of such paintings. Were it to be auctioned today, it's estimated to fetch between
Valued at about $2,000 to $3,000.
The converted church offers a high-end bed and breakfast experience. It also serves as a venue for weddings and other events. The main body of the church has been adapted with both original and modern elements. The design integrates Victorian 16th century and contemporary modern art pieces. The conversion took 20 months, which was faster than initially expected. Drew is interested in acquiring unique and distinctive pieces from the collection. Collectors often upgrade their pieces, leading to the sale of less desired items. Mark shows Drew an approximately 15-year-old chair described as new old. Mark also highlights an English Regency circular wall mirror with a gilt and painted finish. The mirror featuring glass-cut studs, could be worth around £300.
With the bevel and cut glass embellishments, it still has the original mirror plate, and with the right buyer, could be worth around £300.
Drew expresses interest in buying the mirror, but notes one glass stud is missing. After negotiation, the agreed price for the mirror is £200. The house, built 6 or 7 years ago, was inspired by a sketch from a car boot sale. Nick, Mark's partner, worked on the house over 4 years, while also converting outbuildings. They brought back artifacts from a 50-acre reclamation yard in Rajasthan. Mark is selling a collection of Balinese dancer and Ganesh statues, valued at around £800. Drew buys the statues for £500, appreciating their handcrafted and ethnic appeal. The ethnic carving's naivety and handcrafted quality add charm.
What draws me to these sort of ethnic carvings and pieces is the naivety of them.
The Heritage Centre's railway yard was developed from scratch by a not-for-profit organisation. The unused blue enamel shades could fetch around £300 and were acquired from a signalling box. Mark counters with £150 for the shades and all parts included. True art crime stories, like the Wisconsin Historical Society's shocking artifact theft, can be as intriguing as a movie heist. The Wisconsin Historical Society is known for its extensive collection of native ethnographic artifacts since 1846. It faced a shocking revelation in 2000, and a former staff member was the prime suspect. A discovery began on September 25, 2000, when a European professor spotted an artifact in a 1997 Canadian sales catalogue he had seen in Madison in 1984.
Koski and her staff go into crisis mode as they must immediately determine if the society has been a victim of theft by their now former colleague.
This alarming find led to an urgent inventory, confirming that numerous artifacts were missing. On October 24, 2000, David Woolley, former staff, pleaded guilty to 14 thefts and 3 tax evasions, resulting in a 15-year prison sentence. Of the 495 missing artifacts, only 35 have been recovered, but 3 missing items are most important, including a scalp lock. It is belonging to a Ho-Chunk chief, a beaded bandolier bag, and a red flannel shirt with distinctive blue beading. If you have information about the missing artifacts, it was advised to contact the Wisconsin Historical Society or the Capitol Police.
Or Capitol Police. And one or the other of us will take that information and investigate.
The MGA Coupe, introduced in 1955, was acclaimed for its timeless design and profound impact on automotive aesthetics. It marked a pivotal advancement in British car manufacturing, supplanting older models with a sleek, globally recognized alternative. The purchase price of $13.5 grand underscored its affordability and potential for restoration, appealing to enthusiasts. Paul's focus on cost-effective enhancements was inspired by the car's motorsport legacy and aimed at maintaining authenticity. Choosing stove enameling and a rally-inspired look, he transformed its appearance within strict budget constraints. The addition of period rally lights and high-gloss black wheels bolstered its visual appearance and historical accuracy. Collaboration with experts like Andrew Wilkinson from Thacker's ensured a meticulous stove enameling process. Their dedication to craftsmanship and adherence to tradition enhanced the car's aesthetic appeal and its resale value. At the prestigious car show, the revamped MGA garnered widespread admiration for its distinct style and thoughtful upgrades. Notably, it caught the attention of figures like Le Mans driver Alex Brundle, emphasizing its appeal to collectors. Despite a minor budget overrun, investments in stone guards and a replica steering wheel proved beneficial.
With the addition of a period replica steering wheel, a rally feel for the MGA has been achieved cheaply.
These upgrades significantly boosted marketability while preserving the car's nostalgic charm. The enduring popularity and versatility of the MGA were reaffirmed, solidifying its status as a standout classic. The MGA's timeless design continues to be celebrated for its influence on automotive aesthetics. Its sleek lines and performance-oriented enhancements set a new standard in British car manufacturing. The MGA Coupe remains a symbol of innovation and style, cherished by collectors worldwide. During his stint in Stuttgart, Germany, the guest stumbled upon a pair of vintage posters at a downtown flea market. one featuring the picturesque Bellagio and the other showcasing the serene beauty of Lake Garda. Both posters showed signs of wear and tear, prompting the guest to invest in professional restoration and linen mounting upon returning to the States. During the restoration process, meticulous recreation of missing paper, repair of prominent creases, and filling in losses all were carefully executed to preserve the poster's integrity.
Itself is like canvas.
Right.
And on top of that, they have put acid-free paper.
An investment in professional restoration not only revived the posters, but also significantly enhanced their market value. At auction, the estimate highlighted the substantial appreciation in value post-restoration.
At $2,400 to $3,600.
Excellent. Nice.
Drew and Jonathan uncover quirky gems in a castle, wax heads, antique lamps, and vintage locks. Jonathan introduces himself to Drew and T as they arrive at a castle with a spectacular view. They enter, and they're impressed by the variety of items, including automations and mannequins. Drew's expectations are high due to the diverse collection. He spots an electrical automation of a small baker boy and shows strong interest. Jonathan and Drew discuss its potential value, with Drew suggesting an offer around £400.
$350? No, I think I should be a little bit more. £400.
Though he plans to do more research before finalising. In the storage areas, they find wax heads of historical figures like Buffalo Bill and Sir Francis Drake.
Don't drop him, he's a wax. Jonathan, as we're looking at him, starts handing me down wax heads. And they're quite good. You know, they really got a great look to them. Great colour and a bit creepy.
Drew is drawn to these creepy items and decides to buy them, negotiating a price of £5.50 each. He believes they could be worth £150 each, but feels £50 is a fair offer for the collection. They also discover holophane shades from old train carriages, which Drew values at about £150 each. He agrees to purchase them, with the proceeds going to charity. Jonathan finds a mahogany and copper wall light, and Drew buys it for £30, noting its beautiful design and potential resale value. Lastly, they come across 2 locks from old public toilets, priced at £60 each. Drew agrees to buy them, pleased with the deal. Reflecting on the day, Drew is excited about their finds, especially the wax heads, which he thinks will be profitable. As they conclude, Jonathan and Drew express their satisfaction with the day's unique discoveries and look forward to future transactions.
Every antique dealer's got different tastes, and I've obviously found Drew's taste and what he likes and what he doesn't like. And yeah, there's 1 or 2 things he's bought off me. I hope he's happy. So yeah, I've had an interesting day.
The guest brought to the show a 1904 English tourbillon watch, which she had received from her father as a gift. The watch was manufactured by Smith & Son, a renowned English watchmaking company during the peak of the pocket watch era. The tourbillon is a highly complex and prestigious mechanism that helps improve timekeeping accuracy by compensating for the effects of gravity on the balance wheel. The case of the watch is 3-ounce 18-karat gold made by Frederick Thomas. The front of the case has an enamel porcelain dial, which has a very faint hairline crack, and the back features a type of escapement known as tourbillon.
Escapement of the watch. Now, this has a very special type of escapement known as a tourbillon.
Okay.
On the head is the winding indicator, which provides the wearer with a visual cue about the watch's remaining power reserve or wound state to preserve the watch from stopping unexpectedly. The winding indicator provides the wearer with a visual cue about the watch's remaining power reserve. Exclusively, tourbillon pocket watches were exceedingly rare and expensive, accessible only to the wealthiest collectors and connoisseurs, this timepiece being a remarkable achievement that combined technical virtuosity and artistic flair, would auction at
$4,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
See Drew's quick fix, turning marks into gleaming tricks. Drew and Jonathan explore a castle filled with quirky items. They come across a 19th century mahogany and cast iron pub table with a common issue, a ring mark that must be removed. Alex explains that furniture with such blemishes can't be sold as it looks terrible. Fortunately, they know a straightforward method to fix it. They use very fine wire wool to buff out the mark.
So what we need to do is try and buff this out with some very fine wire wool, and then I'm going to show you how to apply a traditional French polish with a French polishing rubber and build up the surface and the shine again.
Alex demonstrates how to apply a traditional French polish with a French polishing rubber to restore the surface and shine. Alex shows the wire wool, explaining that it's extra fine grade and it won't damage the surface, but it will burnish the mark, preparing it for polishing. After rubbing, a matte patch is left where the stain was. Alex then prepares to French polish the entire top to achieve a uniform finish. He starts with a soft cloth and some cotton wool, tearing off a ball and folding it to about the size of an apple. Alex places the cotton wool ball in the middle of the rag and fills it with a 50-50 mix of French polish and meths from a squeezy bottle. He twists and flattens the ball until the rag starts to soak, then applies the polish with slow, straight and gentle strokes. The diluted mixture allows for a smoother, better finish on the surface. As the polish builds and the finish looks good, he lets the rubber dry a bit.
And then we start by very slow, straight and gentle strokes across the surface. The important thing is not to overlap too soon. It must dry before you do another stroke across the same spot.
Making the final strokes feel dry for a nicer, crisper finish, Alex concludes that this is a simple but effective technique that remedies a very common problem. It's a good way to bring up furniture at home and give it a good polish. His mother bought it in a estate sale for $20 to $30. The brocade silk case, adorned with intricate patterns and textures, held a stunning Art Deco Lac Bourgault chinoiserie hand mirror by Cartier. They adopted an Asian-inspired technique where they would inlay mother-of-pearl into black lacquer. Chinoiserie designs are often asymmetrical and feature flowers, leaves, and scenes of Chinese life. The result is a gorgeous riverside landscape that is showcased within a gold scallop frame. With Cartier's renowned detail, the mirror features intricate engravings, vibrant enamel, and gemstones set in gold. This Cartier mirror exemplifies design mastery and cross-cultural influences in the early 20th century decorative arts. Adorned with intricate details and rich history, the appraiser valued the item
of $8,000 to $10,000.
In East Lothian, Gilmorton House, a Grade A listed Georgian estate, exemplifies Sir David Kinloch's commitment to salvage and preservation. The house, constructed in the 1700s and set on a vast 1,000-acre estate, reflects Kinloch's refined taste and dedication to historical preservation. Kinloch invites visitors to explore both his home and salvage collection. The music room, a notable feature, has remained untouched since 1750 and showcases a rare blend of English Rococo and neoclassical styles.
The music room at Gilmerton has remained intact since 1750.
This room's preservation highlights its historical significance. Although Kinloch's home is not available for sale, his salvage business offers intriguing artifacts. Among them is a kitchen prep table that was used by the Kinloch family for over 150 years.
Just the ticket. This kitchen table was used by the Kinloch family for over 150 years.
This mid-19th century table, valued at approximately £1,850 when restored, is offered at £650 due to its current condition. Additionally, the anatomical chair is discovered, which, while charming, requires extensive restoration to be considered for sale. Another notable item is a kitchen prep table with appealing original handles, valued at around £300 once restored. Kinloch agrees to a sale price of £350, recognising its potential despite its condition. Each piece, whether it's the preserved music room or the kitchen table, tells a story of craftsmanship and heritage. This Austrian naughty cat bronze is a curious little figurine, a playful paradox. At first glance, it appears to be an innocent cat cast in cold-painted bronze. However, this seemingly ordinary feline holds a secret. With a hidden mechanism, the cat transforms, revealing a surprising and risque image underneath, a stark contrast to its initial unassuming appearance.
An early transformer. This was probably done around 1910. There was a very famous artist that made these.
While the exact artist remains unknown, the lack of the signature, Nam Greb, suggests it might be the work of a colleague or contemporary of the renowned sculptor. Despite the missing signature, the Austrian mark on the back confirms its origin. The quirky combination of playful innocence and hidden naughtiness marks the figurine a valuable collector's item that's valued at
Is $2,000.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yes, it is.
Discover the hidden treasures and rich history of Mount Ephraim. with Drew and Jonathan. The estate of Mount Ephraim, located 3 miles east of Faversham, has been under the care of the Dawes family since the 17th century and is now managed by his great-great-great-grandson, William. Drew and Jonathan visit the estate to salvage some historical treasures. William mentions that his mother is a hoarder. Drew and Jonathan find an intriguing cast iron staircase painted to resemble wood. The home's interior design features a mix of styles, showcasing the family's travels and taste. Drew looks for antiques in the property's attics, cellars, and dumping rooms, finding a 19th century Chinese export side table with water damage but original paintwork. After negotiating, they agree on a price.
Without that top on there, sort of £450. As it stands, £250 because of the damage.
I think it's just sitting in this room gathering dust, so I'm happy with that.
Deal.
William then shows Drew the basement, revealing old ornamental cannons which excites Drew due to their historical value. The cannons, genuine 18th century naval guns on weathered oak carriages, could be worth around £3,000 once restored.
Once restored, however, they could be worth around £3,000.
Drew emphasizes the importance of keeping the history of the items intact. Pleased with the haul, Drew plans to return the antiques to base promptly. Drew negotiates a price of £1,500 for the 3 cannons.
Yeah, sure. Can we say £500 for that one? So £1,500 for the 3.
Yeah.
Done? Marvellous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As they explore further, Drew finds more intriguing pieces that tell the story of the estate's rich history. Each discovery adds to the charm and appeal of the items, making them more desirable to collectors. With a successful haul and plans to restore and sell the items, Drew and Jonathan leave Mount Ephraim, satisfied with their findings.
Well, that's more than I expected.
This bracelet has a rich family history, having belonged to the guest's great-grandfather, a prominent figure who served as both a bishop and later an archbishop. Its design is incredibly unique, drawing inspiration from the biblical depiction of the city of God found in the Book of Revelation. Crafted from luxurious 18-karat yellow gold, it incorporates a variety of gemstones, including jasper, sapphire, and emerald.
We also have tucked in here these little natural pearls, which are not cultured, they're natural. So that's extremely nice little touch.
The initials C and AG inscribed on the clasp initially puzzled the guest, but with the appraiser's help, they were revealed to be the marks of Carlo Giuliano and his sons, Carlo and Arthur, renowned jewelers who operated in England. This bracelet perfectly exemplifies their exceptional craftsmanship, while the estimated auction value of this phenomenal piece would be
$15,000 to $20,000 today.
Well,
witness Forgotten Lighting's journey to a celebrity farmhouse where extraordinary items meet remarkable owners. The journey of these pieces and their final destinations is remarkable. Recently, a load of lighting was taken down from a church which included high-end Hall of Fame prismatic pendants.
We recently took down a load of lighting from a church, and this is wonderful high-end Hall of Fame prismatic pendants.
Previously, this industrial lighting was covered in dust and dirt, ignored and overlooked by everyone. Now, these lights have found a new home in a stunning farmhouse in Provenance, owned by a well-known A-list celebrity. The best aspects of the job are twofold. Firstly, the items can be handled, found, enjoyed, and learned from. Secondly, the people encountered along the way. Extraordinary items are often owned by extraordinary people in extraordinary houses. The connections formed and the stories shared enrich the experience. Each item has its own unique history and journey, and hearing their stories adds depth to the process.
In extraordinary houses, and the people is what really makes it for me.
It transforms the job from merely handling objects to connecting with individuals. The blend of fascinating items and remarkable people creates a rewarding and fulfilling career. It's this combination that makes the work truly enjoyable. We have an original mask from the first episode of The Lone Ranger. Unlike the later black mask, the first version was plaster of Paris, covered with purple felt for contrast in monochromatic films. The guest's father, a film industry insider, became friends with Clayton Moore, who gave the signed mask to their family. He signed the mask with a personal message: Clayton Moore, The Lone Ranger, and Layla too, dated 1951. This mask was used in the episode Pete and Pedro, but Moore eventually replaced it with the black mask.
He did not like this mask because it covered too much of his face. He designed a black mask as it's known today.
It was comparable in significance to Judy Garland's ruby red slippers and has amazed everyone who's seen it. This Lone Ranger mask is a truly remarkable and iconic piece of television history. Due to its historical importance, unique color, and personal connection to Clayton Moore, at auction, it is valued at least
$25,000.
Oh my gosh.
At an auction, who knows what could happen?
In Aberdeen, known as the Granite City, Drew and Teague visit the Tivoli Theatre, a historic venue originally opened in 1872. Brian Hendry, a local businessman, bought the theatre in 2009 when it was in a state of ruin after serving as a bingo hall for several decades. He embarked on a meticulous restoration project to revive the theatre's former glory. The Tivoli Theatre holds a Grade A listing, the highest designation for historic buildings in Scotland, reflecting its cultural significance. Drew is particularly fascinated by the theatre's original fixtures and fittings, including impressive prismatic lanterns and Art Deco-style pendant lights adorned with prismatic glass. During their exploration, Hendry offers Drew a pair of the Art Deco pendant lights for £350, highlighting their originality and craftsmanship. Additionally, Drew purchased pairs of 1930s holophane lamps for £150 each, appreciating their bronzed finishes and historic value. Discussing the theatre's restoration journey, Hendry showcases his passion for preserving industrial furniture and lighting, noting their intricate design and durable construction. Drew shows interest in modular theatre seating by Giancarlo Peretti, agreeing to buy enough for 4 pairs at £25 per chair. These chairs, with their alloy frames and upholstered seats, are a departure from traditional theatre seating, emphasizing style and functionality. Throughout the visit, Drew is impressed by the blend of history and craftsmanship evident in the Tivoli Theatre's artifacts and furnishings. He sees the chairs and lights as versatile for both historical restorations and modern interiors. Today's item is a porcelain plaque that transcends mere decoration. It's a testament to the artistry of porcelain painting, meticulously rendered on a delicate canvas, drawing inspiration from a 17th century Dutch master, Salomon Konink.
And you'll see his works, which are considered old masters, in some of the more famous European museums.
This scene depicts a hermit engrossed in a book.
The hand painting that they can do on porcelain is really just phenomenal. And it is artist signed, A.L. Eckhart.
Okay.
And Eckhart was the artist for this particular work of art. When you first brought it in, the back was an issue.
The plaque itself is around 1900 and profoundly bears the mark of the prestigious Royal Porcelain Factory in Berlin, Germany, KPM. This provenance significantly elevates the value of the piece. While the market may have favoured female subjects, particularly nudes, in the past the hermit offers a distinct charm with its detailed portrayal and connection to a renowned artist, and at auction would fetch
Roughly $3,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
Drew and his team visit Charles Lecoute at Westlands Farm to explore his extensive collection. Charles is a highly regarded engineer and farmer with a family history of farming on Jersey for over 700 years. He is known for hoarding a wide array of mechanical items, from clocks to lorries. Charles does admit that he has been collecting mechanical and electrical items since his childhood. Despite his reputation, Charles's collection includes valuable and unique items. Drew is eager to sift through the clutter for salvageable and quirky items. In Charles's workshop, Drew discovers various mechanical pieces and old tractors. Among the finds, Charles shows Drew a leather armchair from the 1940s with wear and a hole.
This leather armchair dates from the 1940s. It's very worn and has the hole that needs repairing.
Drew negotiates and purchases the chair for £140, noting it could be worth £600 when it's restored. Charles also has an Anglepoise lamp from the 1930s, a desirable piece for around £300. The team continues exploring Charles' multiple sheds and barns, full of interesting items.
Charles is the shed master. He has got more sheds and barns than anybody we've ever been to. It's not junk. It's good stuff. I can see the value in all of it.
Drew finds a simple pine wall-hanging cupboard from the late 19th or early 20th century. The cupboard, featuring its original chalk paint, is a classic piece of Jersey furniture. Drew buys it for £60, estimating it could be worth around £300 with some polishing.
Very, very surprised.
On the table are 5 antique bottles of liquor. The guest bought these Prohibition-era liquors in the 1980s. When we look closely at the production dates of these liquors, we see they were all made during the Prohibition years in America, from 1920 to 1933. During Prohibition, the US government only allowed a few brands to produce liquor, and they were marked bottled in bond. Red Tailor, a company operating since the 19th century, made 2 of the rare old reserve liquors. These liquors are special because they still have tight, delicate seals on their caps, which is very rare. Because of their rarity and quality with age, these antique bottle of liquors could sell for
$3,000 to $4,000 in today's market.
I am very, very surprised.
You need an eye to see the hidden treasures in Bruce's extraordinary collection. Drew and his team arrived at Bruce's place and were warmly welcomed. Bruce showcased a key Tiger Tank piece and detailed its historic value.
What does that cost?
About €5,000 for that.
It was intended for a restoration project. Drew examined Bruce's vast collection and was impressed. He noted its scale and the dedication involved. The collection included an armoured personnel carrier.
When this is finished, you won't get for under £300,000.
Amazing.
The collection also featured Winston Churchill's bath, and additionally, it included Mick Jagger's toilet, each with a captivating backstory. Drew, a passionate Volkswagen collector, was captivated by a VW Schwimmwagen. However, he hesitated because of the high price of the rare VW engines. Bruce also showed a quirky item said to be Hitler's toilet, which added interest. The detailed descriptions and lively interaction made each piece feel alive. The tour shifted to a shed with military artifacts and rare items. Drew was interested in mid-20th century London Underground enamel signs.
They could have a value of around £700 each.
The enthusiasm for these items was clear throughout the visit. Despite not buying major items, the trip was worthwhile. More than just a timepiece, this wristwatch is a captivating journey through history. Interestingly, this pioneering Patek Philippe wristwatch was crafted from luxurious 18-karat yellow gold. The watch embodies the excellence of Patek Philippe, a company that began as a pocket watchmaker, but transitioned into the future of wristwatches. This particular model might even be one of their earliest creations. A fascinating detail of the watch is its luminescent dial, a technological marvel for its time.
This was handmade. Probably one-off movements, one-off cases. They probably only made one a day of this style case.
The dial, most likely made from sterling silver and imbued with luminescent material, allows the time to be read at night. Remarkably, the watch remains in immaculate condition, has its original dial, the inscription in flawless enamel, and even the crystal seems untouched by time. Considering that most such watches would have been refinished or showed signs of wear, this pristine state makes the price even more extraordinary and is worth
$40,000 to $50,000 watch retail.
Okay.
And very collectible and very desirable.
Okay. Awesome.
Cities are not just places where people live and work, they are vibrant centres of culture, history and innovation. In Edinburgh, George Pirrie Antiques is a classic Scottish antique shop. It is located in Newtown, known for its Georgian architecture and UNESCO heritage status. George Pirrie, who started in the antique business at 16, sells high-end furniture and antiques. The shop's in-house team handles upholstery, cabinet making and polishing, ensuring items are ready for immediate use. This helps customers envision the furniture in their homes. Drew and T visited and admired the quality of the items, including a pair of silver-plated dishes with red stones from the arts and crafts movement.
Very Scottish looking, I will say.
Very Scottish looking.
Sold for £320. They also bought a rosewood window seat for £300. They also found an unusual figurine covered in shells and a monkey skull, likely from Africa. They purchased it for £200. George and Drew share a passion for antiques and restoration, both running successful shops.
It's bang on period. Couldn't be more so. But window seats sell well.
George was pleased with the day's sales, especially selling the rare figurine.
It's a wonderful piece.
Crafted in 1862, by the renowned Minton Company. This fountain boasts a vibrant glaze with a subtle opalescent sheen inspired by French techniques.
And there was a man named Minton who had traveled through Europe, and going through the French region of Rouen in 1849, he found a type of semi-opalescent glaze.
The base of the fountain features a captivating sculpted mask.
The date cipher. So if we look on the bottom here, you will see that triangle and cross conform to the year 1862.
From this mask, elegant swags cascade downwards, resembling intricately detailed leaves. The artistry extends to the handles sculpted into intriguing masks that add a touch of whimsy. The presence of a monogram hints at a fascinating history, possibly connected to the famed poet Alfred Tennyson. While the exact function remains unclear, the fountain is a striking display of artistry and craftsmanship that is worth
About $30,000 to $50,000. It's a wonderful piece.
Drew is opening a large antique shop in Conway's prime high street. He plans to turn the space into a bright and airy showroom with great lighting. Drew thrives on the excitement of retailing to the public. Drew hasn't run an antique shop in over 10 years. This makes it a personal project for him. With just weeks until the opening, he needs to act fast. He has to fill 1,500 square feet of retail space.
To get the stock he needs, Drew's decided to head 200 miles south to the Cotswolds.
It's a great place for buying antiques. His first stop is Watton-under-Edge. There, he visits an auction house that's been around for 80 years. These auctions feature items from local country houses at potentially good prices. However, competition can be tough. At the auction, Drew positions himself at the back to bid discreetly. He aims for a Victorian cast iron Pritchard Street sign for his shop and wins it for £120. Drew's next stop is an antique centre in Babdown. He spots a large chest of drawers. It's Scottish pine from the late 19th century.
It could be worth around £3,000, but is priced at just $1,600.
Drew sees great potential in it. Drew negotiates and buys the chest of drawers for £1,200. Excited about the piece, which needs little restoration, he feels it's a great buy. An appraiser examined this Vietnamese sword and noted some unusual aspect about it. The hilt of the sword was made from a fossilized mastodon tooth, likely around 10,000 years old. Fossil mastodon tooth is a fossil of an extinct elephant ancestor and is extremely rare. The appraiser stated that at an auction, they would expect this sword to sell for approximately
About $3,000.
Wow. Wow, that's wonderful.
The car enthusiast marveled at the sleek design of the vehicle, emphasizing its apparent simplicity, despite the absence of straight lines throughout.
What the real genius of this design is the simplicity. It just looks like lines, doesn't it? There actually isn't a straight line on the car. They've all got a slight curve to them, and the side of the car curves out like that.
Each Esprit's production history, including the prestigious 166G model, was meticulously documented in a comprehensive book. Notably, one car was commissioned by a prominent figure at the pinnacle of its production. The conversation turned to the iconic Series 1 model, parked nearby, sparking nostalgia and admiration. Mentioning Steve's expertise and dedication to authenticity, the enthusiast revealed how he had replicated the car's original fabric from the 1970s.
Steve's had a replica fabric woven by the same mill that produced it in the 70s.
Underscoring the meticulous attention to detail, this dedication was reflected in the substantial investment made to perfect the car's interior, ultimately enhancing its value significantly. Reflecting on the craftsmanship involved, the enthusiast shared anecdotes about Drew's initial skepticism over the £16,000 expenditure, contrasting it with the breathtaking moment of seeing Carolyn drive the meticulously restored vehicle. The enthusiast expressed pride in their ability to restore the car to its original photographed setting, preserving its historic integrity down to the smallest details. Ultimately, the enthusiast concluded that for anyone seeking the finest Esprit S1 available, this particular car stood as the epitome of perfection. Baseball isn't just a regular sport, it's where family ties mix with the stories of famous players like Lonnie Frey.
Because he's my dad. And he still talks baseball to me once in a while.
Showing there's more to the game than meets the eye. The appraiser got interested in hearing about Lonnie Frey and other famous baseball players. They found out from the guest that Lonnie isn't just a famous guy, he's actually the guest's dad, who is still full of life at 97 years old. Frey's remarkable career, spanning 14 years across all 3 New York teams, particularly shined during his tenure with the Cincinnati Reds, where he earned All-Star status 3 times and played in 2 World Series. Notably, he shared the field with Johnny Vandermeer. During his consecutive no-hitters, a highlight of his career, the discussion delves into Frey's connection with baseball greats like Yogi Berra, showcasing his lasting impact on the sport. The appraiser suggested examining everything to determine its value. Among the items, there was a bat from the Brooklyn Dodgers for the guest's dad's Golden Jubilee, marking 50 years in baseball. While giving a value for the collection, the appraiser said,
Grand total of probably about $25,000 to $30,000.
It's wonderful, and this is stuff that we've handed down and will hand down in the family.
Drew bought a rare 1880s drumming bear automation by Roulet and de Comte for £2,000.
This bear dates from the 1880s and would have been used as an after-dinner amusement. Originally covered in real fur, its party trick was beating a drum.
The bear, originally covered in real fur, had been poorly restored with fiberglass. Roulet and de Comte, a prestigious French firm, was renowned for its intricate automata. The bear featured a complex clockwork motor and sophisticated mechanics.
The sophisticated mechanics involve a series of interlinked levers and star-shaped disc cams, which predetermine the function and range of animation.
Restoration experts Michael and Maria from Fors, Scotland, were tasked with the project. They disassembled the bear and removed the fiberglass, exposing the original papier-mâché body. The original fur was too damaged to reuse. They selected a vintage fur coat as a replacement. Maria matched the new fur to the original's appearance. The restoration required meticulous attention to detail. The final result was more impressive than Drew had anticipated. Drew was thrilled with the restored bear, and the project highlighted Michael and Maria's skill in automata restoration. They successfully revived the bear, preserving its historic value, and the bear was charming and fully operational once more. The guest discovered this intriguing box nestled among many others in the trunk of an antique car that her husband had acquired for $400. The appraiser praised the exquisite scenic view depicted on the box lid. The box featured enamel colors applied over copper metal. When turned, it had the mark of a Japanese company, the Ando Company, established in Nagoya in 1981. Interestingly, the box depicted Mount Fuji on its exterior. The box beautifully merged Eastern and Western art techniques from the Meiji period. The appraiser estimated that this box was likely made in the 1900s and intended for sale in Europe. Much to the guest's surprise, the appraiser estimated this box to be
$3,000 at auction.
No.
a wonderful breath of fresh air. That's what this painting on paper connotes. There are many different ways to craft a painting, but this gouache on paper really sets the stage for distinctness. It was drawn in 1978 by Peter Halley. This painting represents one of Halley's early works, and it communicates as a rare piece of art that we don't see very often.
His work is included in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Wow. Oh, yes. He was included in the Whitney Biennial. Wow. He went on to great success.
The style of painting exhibited here is called a geometric abstract art, and Halley is one of the best at it because of how unique this painting is and how appealing it looks. One would expect it to auction at
$10,000 and $15,000. Wow. Yes. That's amazing.
Vowood House in Norfolk is a Grade 2 listed arts and crafts home built between 1903 and 1905. It features Grade 1 listed gardens. Rare book dealer Simon Finch bought the house in 1998.
Rare book dealer Simon Finch bought the house in 1998.
Finch restored Vowood, transforming it from an old people's home. The house is filled with eclectic furnishings and artworks. Finch's collection includes a mid to late 1950s Rexine work chair. The chair retains its original cover, paint, and markings. Finch also owns a set of angle-poised factory lights from a hospital. These lights are valued at around £200 each when restored. A 1956 Charles and Ray Eames lounge chair and ottoman are key pieces. Eames's design is iconic, resembling a well-used baseball mitt. The chair is displayed in the Museum of Modern Art, New York. Despite its rough condition, the Eames chair is highly valued. Its potential worth is around £3,000.
The chair became an icon of American design and features in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. This chair could be worth around £3,000.
Drew Pritchard visited Vowood to negotiate purchases. Pritchard quickly bought the Eames chair for £1,200. He negotiated it as a design classic. The deal was made swiftly, reflecting the chair's significance. A glance at this in a horror movie would make you think you've come across a totem, but that's what beautifies this folk art cane. Created around circa 1920, the cane is called a caduceus for physicians.
You see, it begins with this top figure, and usually when cane makers made a handle, it was significantly smaller. So the fact that he made this image...
And in ancient Greek mythology, it serves as a symbol of peace. The design on the cane is appealing to the eye, and the cane is carved from strong maple wood to provide a firm grip. This type of cane is called a one and done because its maker is unknown. Thanks to its beautiful design and alluring appeal, this cane would retail at the auction price of
$3,500 to $4,500 on this wonderful piece of American folk art.
That's crazy.
There are many different types of paintings, like oil, abstract, watercolor paintings, but this oil painting by Demetrius Jameson is unlike anything you've ever seen.
On the things that he was taught by the master.
Yes, and he...
This oil painting is a perfect description of expressionist art, and this is due to the spooky and scintillating nature of this oil painting. It also depicts modern American art in its early years, and art like this is much in demand among antique painting collectors.
The modernist movement and the surrealist movement are very strong and very sought after.
The attention to detail of the subject in the painting is out of this world. Only a few painters in history can bleed art on like this. So, this painting today would auction at
$15,000.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Drew Pritchard spotted a hand-painted fairground sign for the Dodgem Cards. The sign featured vibrant mid-century British showman art. It was valued around £1,500. Drew, having previously bought similar signs, wanted this one too. He negotiated and bought it for £500. Drew also showed interest in a small brass vet's plaque and a painting of a young girl. The painting, signed by A. Weston and dated 1949, was worth around £300. Despite its eerie look, Drew bundled it with the plaque. He secured both for £350. Next, Drew examined a 1930s car showroom advertising poster with some blue paint damage. He agreed to buy it for £100, considering its historical value. Nadine and Vicky, who inherited their father's collection, welcomed Drew. Their father had amassed the collection over 40 years. The collection included a Shell motor oil sign and a Blackstone oil engine sign. The Blackstone sign was particularly rare and valued at around £2,000. Drew was also intrigued by a BSA neon sign. It was linked to Birmingham Small Arms and had an existing offer of £1,000. Drew was excited about the unique finds and eager to secure them before they went to auction. This 19th century autograph album isn't just a collection of signatures, but a tangible link to Mrs. Anna Evans, wife of Congressman George Evans. Unlike most political spouses of the time, Mrs. Evans wasn't just a wife left behind. She joined her husband in the bustling capital and became a social force, her charm documented in this very album. Turn the fragile pages and you're greeted by a poem penned by John Quincy Adams, a former president, now fellow congressman. A few pages later, a delightful surprise, a lengthy inscription from Davy Crockett, the legendary frontiersman turned congressman. The album continues, a treasure trove of autographs, and it's easy to imagine these inscriptions happening at elegant dinner parties hosted by Mrs. Evans.
There are 3 presidential signatures in this book. There's a Martin Van Buren, and then at the very end, the very last page, has a clipped signature of James Madison and an...
The content of the inscriptions, often expressing gratitude for hospitality, strengthens this theory. However, the value of the album lies not just in the number of famous names, but in the stories they whisper and are worth.
Right. So if you add that all up, $12,500 to $18,700. Wow.
Showcased on the show today is a collection of items that belong to this guest's great-great-grandfather, William Perry,
They were to sail on and verify the existence of the Australian continent.
who served as a surgeon aboard the Endeavour ship under Captain Cook. Cook, a British explorer, cartographer, and naval officer, he embarked on his first voyage around the world with Perry aboard the Endeavour. Included in the collection is a portrait painted on wood depicting William Perry with a ship in the background.
You assume that to be the Endeavour because he sailed on the Endeavour, but it could be one of his other 4 or 5 ships that he was on.
However, the frame of the painting has been replaced. Another item showcased is a pair of pistols made by William Bond, a British gunsmith. Additionally, the pistols bear the maker's mark stamp atop the item. Lastly, we have a powder flask containing shots and wadding. Altogether, this remarkable collection tells the tale of a bygone era and is estimated to be worth
$13,000 and $15,000 for an auction estimate for the package here. It's a great story.
Thank you. I'm very glad to know that.
This bat was handed down to the guest by her grandmother, a dedicated Brooklyn Dodgers fan. The bat, which was used for a home run before a tragic accident, belongs to Roy Campanella. Campanella, nicknamed Campy, was an American professional baseball player, primarily as a catcher.
In early 1958, he was coming home late at night. It was a bad evening, and he slipped on ice, hit a telephone pole, and became paralyzed.
The Campanella bat is verified as a game-used piece from 1954 to 1957, stamped with his name and model number.
48, he was brought up to the Dodgers, and he was a sensation.
The bat is a C188 bat ordered by Campanella, and its authenticity is confirmed by its professional markings. The insurance value of this legendary bat, used by an iconic player, would be set at an estimated value of
$30,000. Wow.